Oh my gosh.
Yes, Daddy.
That's right. Yes, Daddy. Keep a knife out your flippin' mouth. Anyway, we're back.
Here we are. Welcome.
Uncut Gems.
Welcome back to Uncut Gems. Welcome back to the J.A. Day podcast.
Yeah.
Wow,
Uncut
what are we doing
Gems.
here? Is that your
Uncut
British
Gems.
accent?
No, I'm Julia Fox.
Ah, Julia Fox. Nice to meet ya. All right, welcome. We're back.
You don't know that one, Joe?
I don't know. Maybe I do and I forget.
Uncut Gems. You don't know Uncut Gems?
Oh, the movie Uncut Gems.
Yeah, Uncut Gems.
Right, but you sound like Smeagol from Uncut Gems. No, that's not. What does that sound like? Yeah.
It was a meme. It was a meme that was going around a few weeks ago on the TikToks.
The dang TikToks.
Yes.
You know the funny thing? I am the only one in my immediate circle, aside from you, of course, who has TikTok. My girlfriend, my mom, other people in my life, they don't have TikTok. They only have Instagram. And yet you don't have it either. No. But the crazy thing is everyone else seems to be more in touch with what's happening on TikTok because they just watch it all on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That's why
I'm the one who actually has the app and I'm completely out of touch. Yeah, that's just that's how it goes sometimes. I got to turn on notifications just to keep me up to date, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
But dang. So listen, the gems are completely uncensored. They're uncut. And so was the Oscars. I think they censored it after the fact, but everybody like screen captured. I feel like that's a thing. That's like a niche community now. People that just record the Oscars because it's live. So as soon as it gets censored, they're like, here's the original, and just like give it to everyone. But yeah, so recap for anyone who missed last Sunday.
I don't think anybody missed.
Yeah, literally no one missed what happened. Even like I didn't even watch it, and I did not miss a thing. It was it's all anybody's talking about. But you know, this is dropping on Friday, so maybe people need a refresher. Maybe it's been so long since they've heard about what happened on Sunday.
Talking about it anymore.
Exactly. It's like they've forgotten. You know, it just became myth. It became legend. What happened last Sunday? Mm-hmm. What's a TLDR? Who wants to give a good version or their interpretation of what happened?
Chris Rock said that Jada Pinkett Smith looks like G.I. Jane.
Oh, now you said it. He's gonna come for you.
And then everybody laughed, and then Will Smith decided, even though he laughed, that it wasn't funny anymore, and he went up and he slapped Chris Rock, and then it was really awkward. But then Will Smith won Oscar for Best Leading Actor, and then everybody hugged him, and people made light of the situation.
There was dancing. There was merriment. No charges were placed.
That's accurate.
Nah.
However, that there is still time for such a thing to happen. And it was rumored that the two of them, since they know each other, they talked and squashed the beef, just not on camera. And yet a report came out claiming that actually, no, Will did not talk to, I was about to say The Rock, Chris Rock. So, you know, it's, wouldn't you know it, there's more to the story, as with any story that ever happens. But yeah, what a thing, what an event to take place. I think the strangest thing is that there's division online at all. The fact that the reactions from people have been one way or the other. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the response from any reasonable person should be both people were in the wrong. There's not.
I was waiting for a hot take from Joe just then.
Right. Well,
where's he going?
The weird thing is, I was told by some people at work that even saying that's a hot take, they're like, "There's no excuse for violence." I'm like, by saying Chris Rock was in the wrong for making a joke about someone's illness isn't defending what happened. Mm-hmm. Both people are in the wrong. Mm-hmm. You know, that's all there is to it. They're literally both in the wrong. There's no excuse for violence, and it's not okay to joke about someone's illness. Like, unless they're the one making the joke.
Exactly.
But it's like, yeah. So.
And like who, like you if like your colleagues are saying that, just ask them what they would do if somebody ridiculed their wife on
For-
national television. Like the
Exactly.
people get mad. They might not go up and slap someone because they can't. If they were to get sued, they don't have the unlimited money that Will Smith has, where there's no consequences.
Yeah. And
The
honestly,
average
he could probably
person-
get a lawyer for free. He wouldn't even need money. He's
Yeah.
just so charismatic.
Yeah.
So, it's just one of those things.
Yeah. But pays
yeah.
Gemini Man money.
Exactly. All that Gemini Man money.
The big bucks.
It's still pouring into this day.
That movie
Still
was
fun.
so bad. I don't know why I hated it so much. I hated that movie. I actually hated it.
Good.
You're not the
The
only one.
technology wasn't there.
Nah, not quite.
The frame
it
rate,
exists,
I don't
but
understand.
maybe
Yeah, the
they-
frame rate. Yeah.
I don't know why the frame rate had to be higher.
Yeah.
It's a movie. The human eyes can only see so much. It's only for people
Yeah.
taking Ritalin playing games.
They did that in the
That's
Hobbit
the only
too.
time it's higher.
In the Hobbit, they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be 48."
I know, and that looked weird. It's like high frame rates don't look good.
Oh, we don't need it.
They're only
What's
good for
this?
competitive online play. That's the only reason
Yeah.
frame rates
Competitive
exist.
online play.
That's the
If-
only case
if
where you
it's
need more than 24
working
frames.
completely fine as it was at 24. Keep it at 24.
Yeah, the brain isn't evolving to see it faster. People are
Yeah.
just taking pills to boost
Well, I love
their
that.
adrenal
I
gland.
think at the time they were like, "Oh, 48 frames per second. It's going to be like how the human eye sees. It's going to be so realistic and immersive." But then the movie was like 99% CGI.
Yeah.
So it's like,
So all we saw were
it doesn't matter. It's a video game.
True.
Yeah.
Speaking of video games, Halo.
Heyo,
First
Let's
episode.
see
hello.
your Halo.
Well,
Halo.
You say, speaking of video games, some articles have come out. I don't know if you've seen this, Aidan. Bonnie Ross, the executive head chair of 343 Industries, whatever she is, the leader of 343.
Okay, Cortana herself.
She has come out saying that they're planning to make Halo more universal, aka kind of like a Marvel universe, where they want to be expansive across all medias, which they have already begun with the TV show. But they said they still have to deal with certain obstacles. One such
Such as?
obstacle being the fan base, the current fan base. She literally doesn't like Halo fans and wants to get rid of them and replace them with normies, with outsiders. They only want
So, like,
outsiders.
Me, essentially. Because that's
yeah,
how I
yeah. They
felt
want the Derrons. They don't
watching
want the Aidens and the Joes.
You guys are too
so-
serious about it. You guys are way too serious.
I'm not, but people.
Well, I don't know
some
if you
people
guys are, because we haven't talked about our
I just
reviews
want content.
previously.
So I'm not being
so-
toxic about it. I just want content,
Yeah.
and they've completely given up on the video game. There's
Well, we'll
it's
circle back to
empty.
you in a
It's a ghost
second,
town.
D. But
Yeah.
just
Okay.
on the topic of that person, the CEO of 343. One,
Ms. Ross.
we all preferred when Bungie was in charge.
Yes, that is true. Yeah,
When Bungie
fans
was
and
in
non-fans alike. Bungie.
Secondly, I kind of saw this coming because of the way they handled Infinite and the way they changed that game, and you can kind of predict that. Unfortunately, Fortnite has had a huge influence on all games, all of them.
Yeah.
They're all doing
Yeah.
Fortnite. Like Call of Duty used to just be a campaign mode and then online team deathmatch type thing. Now it's got the open world. You got to drop in Fortnite. The map's closing in. You've got to pay to unlock all your weapons and skins. PUBG,
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Apex Legends. The other one that's like Apex Legends. All these games.
PUBG.
That's
Yeah.
just the future now because it makes so much more money because they can sell all the extra stuff.
Yeah.
And like she is saying, people that aren't familiar with the game and the story, they can just easily just jump in at any point and they'll easily pick it up and they can play with their friends and they can just buy whatever they want to get them to a level where they can start winning rather than the more traditional way of like working your way up. Anyway, speaking of normies, D doesn't know anything about Halo. Or maybe only
Well, I
knows
know,
like
I know some.
you know
stuff,
some little
not
know who
intense.
Master Chief is and you know it's a
Mr.
game.
Chief,
Um,
Cortana, and the
Mr. Chief.
main character Halo. Yeah.
and then, I used to think he was called Halo. So we watched the first episode, Joe,
Yes.
and I say I'm not going to tell you anything about it, D.
Okay.
And then that way, at the end of the episode, you can see what you picked up on. I can kind of see what
Right.
And then I'm watching it, I'm going,
You hate it.
I don't know anything about any of this because none of this is Halo.
Right. Yeah. It's
Hot
the
take.
silver timeline. It's the silver timeline. Yeah. Well, okay. We got to establish some ground stuff first. First off, to anyone new to the podcast, and they're like, "Who's that third voice?" It's Derron, and he's a ghost.
I'm hiding.
Ghosts are
today.
real. He's disembodied, but he's there. He's available.
Well, he's
for all
become an
listeners.
AI. He's become an
But-
artificial.
People that are just
intelligence.
listening.
That's true.
No, they will.
They're like, why did I even say that? Yeah, exactly. To the listeners, there's actually a visual option. So stop whatever you're doing. If you're driving, stop and watch the rest of the podcast, because that's the only way to do it. Podcasts are meant to be watched, not listened to. Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that.
That's just obvious. Yeah.
So like,
but
can
yeah.
I ask you guys a question? Let me ask you guys a question. So like, I made a reference of like after we watched the first episode, I made a reference of like, it seems like people always have an issue. An example would be like with books. It seems like you read a book and then now the movie's made, and diehard fans of the book will essentially, I think there's a higher rate of them hating the movie of potentially someone that's just like, all right, I'll come with you and watch it, which is probably maybe me, because I don't really like, I'm not really all into like Twilight and all that stuff. Besides the point though, it seems like Harry Potter, like J.K. Rowling, is a perfect example of like, it seems that her readers, correct me if I'm wrong, her readers that read her books, the movies translated to the books very well, and that's why there's so many fans. You're saying wrong, but I'm saying, but there's so many fans.
No, you're right. They
there's
like
so many fans
they like the
because
translation. Yeah.
they imagine that in their head the way that the movies are, and I think there's a very little gap of, oh, that's not how it is in the book. Now I feel like with Halo, this is how everybody's saying right now. And I'm just thinking, wow, this was pretty okay. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad. It was, as just someone watching it, I thought it was a little better than like,
Your
Dune.
average sci-fi
Come
channel.
for me.
Oh, it's better than Dune. Okay.
Like I just think there was more. It was more interesting. There was more
Hot
action. There was more to look at. For me, Dune was a little boring.
Right.
That's just my personal opinion.
I will say, I think they I did not expect them to handle violence they did in the TV show, so I was pleasantly surprised at how violent exploding humans were. You don't see that typically in the video games.
And that was just a weird choice to me, because I'm like, why? Why would they choose to do that?
But would you guys find that theory true though? Or
yeah, I think the Harry Potter books translate really well, and the Lord of the Rings seemed to as well.
Yeah.
The contention would be the Hobbit, because they made one book in a thing.
Yeah, the Hobbit. Nobody else.
Yeah, that's the inverse of Lord of the Rings.
And by all accounts, usually comic books translate fine as well. No one usually has a problem with comics. Maybe every now and again they'll get a bit funny about Batman. They're like, well, actually, Batman should be moody and violent, and then some people are like, no, Batman should be colorful and good. That's probably one of the only contentions. And most of the time, they're like, yeah, Superman fine, Spider-Man fine. Yeah. Actually, we've got one more here. I've got a perfect example.
Oh, what do you have? Actually,
this person they got incredibly wrong. He was probably the worst example.
Right.
Yes. Because he was like so tiny.
Is that the Goop Man from Power Rangers?
Yes, he should have been. Anyway, most of the time, that's right. But for some reason, video games, they can just never get it right. But
yeah, I don't get it.
Here's the thing. D, you said you fairly enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, I thought it was okay for a first episode.
And
that seemed like a good pilot episode to me.
Sure, and I think the hardest part for us, Joe, is disassociating ourselves from what we already know. If we could somehow erase 22 years of the game,
oh my gosh,
from our minds.
No, Derron, you got to think.
Seriously.
Yeah, imagine watching a TV show about something that's been established for more than half your life. Well, it's like religion. Imagine. I mean, I guess they did that with Disney's Prince of Egypt, but it's like doing like a weird silver timeline version of like religion, when it's like you're raised with it your whole life and you're like, that's not how it happened. Like Jesus picks up a gun. You'd be like, and they're like, don't try to forget everything that you know about what you love and just watch this reimagined. There's actually a bunch of Halo fans in my work, surprisingly. So I've been talking to some of them, and they've said that, like, it's got the name Halo. Certain art styles are similar to Halo, like certain aspects, like the weapons and stuff. But it's not really a Halo show. Like, it's kind of like a fan-made thing. It doesn't look like a $50 million per episode show.
No.
So
I
the
was
money
saying,
has not translated so far. Like,
yeah.
I will say it is more entertaining than a sci-fi TV show. When I say sci-fi, I mean like the channel
That's why I was
sci-fi. You know, like one of those
relating
really low budget sci-fi shows. It does look better than that, but when they say it looks like a fan-made Halo thing, I agree with that heavily because it does give me that vibe of like, oh, it's like Halo, but it's going to be like my interpretation of it, and it's just, you know, it's one of those things. But
it's so strange.
There's a lot more to be said about it. But yeah, I feel like at least expressing that point of view that someone else had, where I'm like, yeah, I could get that point of view. Yeah.
No, yeah, totally. That's how I felt. I was like, this is meant to be Halo,
but it's not.
but there's so many creative choices. And I think that's probably the most baffling thing to me. Not even that, like, it was a bad pilot. I don't think it was a bad pilot episode. Like, I think it was fine. If like I said, if you can disassociate 20 years
If it was just a different property, yeah, like it's just.
Well, or if you could say, okay, yeah, this is a
not
different
Halo.
timeline. I can't keep comparing it to the game. You know, I don't care that it's, you know, it's wrong, Joe. It didn't happen in the canon. But you know, if you can step away from that, then sure, the pilot's fine. Like there's no faults in like the story or anything. But there is some really weird creative choices that I didn't get. Like the perspective of this girl character who I feel is going to be in the entire show now as like a sidekick.
Which I don't see how they can push her story any further. Like,
no,
I don't get it. She can last maybe another episode or two, but I don't see how she's in the whole season.
Everybody's said this, and again, you know, like obviously from our canon perspective, where like Master Chief never takes off his helmet, but this is different.
Right.
But it's like, why would you do that reveal in the first episode, though? That was a weird creative choice.
Yeah. I've seen an interview from the main actor. I feel like he gives a point that is logically correct, but still doesn't excuse it. And the way he says it is, it's not supposed to be a reveal, even though it is for fans of Halo. This is for people who've never experienced Halo. They did in the first episode because it's not supposed to be a reveal. And also in shows like The Mandalorian, it's part of his religion/culture to keep the helmet on. In the universe of Halo, there is no reason that he should keep his helmet on at all times. Like in the books, he grows up, his face is revealed. He takes it on, takes it off. So it's like in the books, he doesn't always have the helmet on. Only in the video games, and it's because in the video games, the person playing Master Chief is supposed to be Master Chief. Like it's, and also, the timing does seem a little like they're really just not making this for Halo fans, because Halo Infinite was specifically marketed by saying become Master Chief. And like there was even like a commercial where there's an app and you upload a picture of your face and it becomes Master Chief. Like they put so much energy and effort into being like Master Chief's the vehicle and you become Master Chief. And then in the show they're like, so all of that millions of dollars we spent on all that marketing, completely wipe that from your memory. And this is specifically what he looks like as this actor. And then he just takes his helmet off halfway through the episode and just never puts it back on again.
Puts it back on.
And he's like, now I'm just like this forever. I'm like, I fucking hate how actors always have to like have their faces shown.
Yeah.
That's so, I don't get it, you know?
Yeah.
It's like it has to,
well, the whole time I was thinking of The Mandalorian. And yes, it's his religion, but like he
it's a lack of ego too. It's like I don't care about my face or
but in The Mandalorian, he keeps his helmet on all the way through season 1 until the very last episode of season 1 when he's about to die, he takes his helmet off because he thinks he's going to die, and it's like a big moment.
Yeah.
This was just like, this girl was like being a little brat or whatever, and he just took his helmet off to show that he's human.
like, I eat nuts and bolts. Psych, it's me, a human.
Yeah.
And she's like, so you are not a robot.
And is that just so that people that don't know Halo don't realize he's not a robot? And they
honestly,
understand?
because
person.
100% this show is not made for Halo fans. So that I think literally
Again,
that is
super weird creative choice. So why are they making it then?
I know, yeah.
Like, they're not making it for fans. Who are they making it for? They're just making it for
Exactly.
It's so confounding. They specifically made a show called Halo. They didn't even call it like the Master Chief story or like some off-brand thing where it's still technically attached. It's like they're using the IP as hard as they can because they know it's famous and popular, and millions of people know the word Halo and associate it with Master Chief and the video game series. So they're using the name, but then at the exact same time, only wanting people who aren't familiar with it. It's very corporate-y and scummy and not the way it should be done. We need Taika Waititi to make a Cat Master Chief show. That's the only way creatively it would have made sense to just silver timeline it if he was a cat.
Yeah.
The only way.
Like Detective Pikachu was just like, oh, he's a talking.
Right. Yeah.
Detective.
That just with Samuel L. Jackson.
So other creative changes, Joe. How did you feel about Captain Keyes?
Oh, that whole like we have to change his look for no reason. It's like
so they race swapped him, which I don't have a problem with because he's not real. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
he's not
he's a
based
fictional
on anyone.
character, so who cares if he's black or white?
Yeah.
But I was under the impression, correct me if I'm wrong, but it does not that it matters because they've changed everything anyway. But from Miranda Keyes' like voice and look in Halo 2 and 3, I was getting like a kind of Latina feel from her. Would I be wrong? I don't know. I got that kind of feeling.
Sure.
Could be wrong. I thought she maybe had like a little bit of an accent and maybe they darkened her skin a little bit more, but I could be wrong.
Right.
But Captain Keyes seemed pretty white. But then we've got this guy who, again, doesn't matter that he's black, but he's like stocky and like built and he's got a beard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what Captain Keyes. Captain Keyes is like a tall, skinny white guy.
And also I guess his personality was completely different in this too, which makes me think, why do the name association? Why not just make this be a different character, Captain anyone else?
Yeah,
Captain Smith, Captain whoever. It's like I don't know why they had to use the same names from the video game series, and then change things up because his personality too is that he's like very strict and like, okay, well, we're gonna be moving forward with this mission. He's essentially like Admiral. Now I'm losing whatever the term is, but Hood.
Admiral Hood.
Admiral Hood.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. He's extremely binary, very by the books. You do exactly this thing. And then the whole point of this TV show is they're trying to make the characters more complex. So it's like, oh, they're not exactly by the book. They just follow the rules. It's like, yeah, the UNSC is kind of dystopic. And so we want to show that even the people who are working in the UNSC don't exactly agree with it all the time. It's like, okay, I mean, just make, it's like it didn't have to be the same character. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't seem to have the same type of personality or opinions or demeanor about him.
Yeah, and then that makes you wonder, there's one more character to come back to, but that makes you wonder if Captain Keyes is present and the Covenant has just like arrived. Even though we all
for the first time
Halo
for
Reach.
that planet. Yeah.
Yeah, but we all played Halo Reach and we all know how this goes down, but I'm worried that they're not going to do that story. But anyway, we'll see.
No, yeah, 100% they're not. Even from the trailer, I already know what they're going to do.
But if
I already know what the season's gonna be.
if
just like you already know.
Yeah, like this is the thing, right? Okay, this is a prequel, right? This is now a prequel. It's called Halo, but now it's a prequel because it hasn't happened yet.
The whole first season, we're not going to be on Halo.
No, it's going to show up in the last episode.
But the fact that Master Chief says, "Find the Halo, win the war," immediately gets rid of the entire story that happens on Reach, the entire lead up to finding Halo. That's all gone. The entire story beat is gone, and it was such a good story beat too. The fact that Halo is a mystery that they stumble upon, right? They punch in coordinates from a Forerunner artifact underneath Reach, but they didn't know it was going to lead to this deadly superstructure. Like, all of that was a mystery, and it was incredible. And it's like, that's clearly the best way that they should have started the series.
Yeah, but even
have like 2 or 3 episodes lead up to it, but
yeah, and the fact that they're on, so in Halo 1, they're on the Pillar of Autumn, which D is the name of their big spaceship, the Pillar of Autumn, and it finds the Halo, but they're being pursued by the Covenant.
Yeah.
And Master Chief is on board, and Captain Keyes is the captain, and they've just left the planet Reach,
which was just getting dummy.
Which was getting
no
nuked
chance
at the time, so they have to flee really quick. Now we see Reach in the Halo show, which is where all the main labs and all that shit is, right?
Yeah.
But in the Halo Reach game, we see that actually Halsey is in her own lab in a different part of Reach, and she has to get Cortana, that's like a prototype or whatever, like never been used before. She has to get Cortana to Chief before he leaves on the Pillar of Autumn, and then the planet gets nuked.
Yeah.
But it's just not going to happen, is it? None of that's going to happen. There's going to be no Pillar of Autumn. There's going to be no fleeing.
No. I think they will use all the word associations, but bastardize all of it. So the Pillar of Autumn will exist, but it will just be like hanging out the whole time. There's no risk. There's no fleeing scenario. I've heard theories about what they're going to be doing with Arbiter. He will exist, but he was that warrior who's secretly in the cave and ran away. So he's not a shipmaster. He's just this new term, this Kaiden warrior or Kaiden warrior. So he's just a random.
So now
elite.
they're going to be like,
and he's and this elite's going to be the one that doubts the Covenant.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You're probably right. Okay, so
Cortana will exist to control the Spartans, which is basically a Halo 5 story beat. Not with the AI, but with the whole like insubordination. The Spartans.
Let's talk
They're
about
reusing the worst story beats from the video game franchise.
And you know why? Because if 343 are involved, and that maybe if they've got like some sort of hand in this, then it's because that's their storyline, and they want to push their storyline more than the Bungie
they want to push their shitty story rather than the good Bungie story.
So Halsey and Cortana. Halsey,
their pissy story.
Yeah.
Oh,
Halsey,
are you frozen? I think Aiden's frozen.
No, not on my side.
I'm moving.
He's rocking. Look at him go.
Actually, no, he's frozen for me.
All right, we'll see which one wins in the end. Side note before continuing, I'm curious, Aidan, above you, that skull, is that related to the Legend of Zelda? Those flaming skulls that go in circles and shit.
Oh no, I just drew it on.
Oh my gosh, true.
Oh my god, well, it's beautiful. Everything behind you is gorgeous. We didn't mention it. But...
Yeah, true. Those are.
Oh, cool. Well, I need to redo the teeth on it because they're not quite right.
Never even thought about
that. Okay, so Halsey, not the singer,
British,
but Catherine Halsey. Yes, 1, British. 2, nowhere near as old as she needs to be.
Yes. Yeah, her age doesn't make sense. She's basically the same age as Chief. Was she also 6 when they stole him? Like, she must have been. Straight up.
Yep.
I don't know what they're going for.
I didn't even think about that. I was just the whole time, I was like, well, she's probably in her like late 40s, but she needs to be in her like late 50s, really. But I didn't even think about the fact that, of course, she would have kidnapped Master Chief as a child. And oh my god.
And he's an adult man, like he's at least in his mid-30s. So like, I don't know. I don't know.
And then, okay, so I didn't know this, Joe, until I looked it up afterwards. So I was watching it, and I remember from the trailer that Cortana looked weird and human. And then I'm watching the episode, and I'm looking at Halsey's face. Okay. I'm taking in the face, the details. Yeah. And then she goes in, and you see that back room, and she's making a clone.
Bald self.
Or something, right? or she's growing something. I'm like, oh, that's a clone of her because the face looks the same.
Yeah.
Then I looked on IMDb.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the cast. And Jen Taylor,
Right.
voice of Cortana,
Yeah.
is in the cast as Cortana.
Yeah.
And Jen Taylor looks a lot like the woman playing Halsey.
Right.
But they're different people.
Different.
But they look incredibly similar.
They look
And
similar.
now I'm wondering if that wasn't a clone, that was actually Jen Taylor. Because her and the actress playing Halsey look so damn similar. I
I've
thought
heard
that was a clone, but they're actually not. They're separate people.
Well, I've heard that. I've heard that claim online, but I don't know if I'm ready to believe that yet. We got to see more footage. We've only seen that 4 seconds of her saying "I'm Cortana." We need more footage to know for sure if she's just right. Yeah. All of a sudden, my Cortana app opens up. Yeah. What do you want?
Oh my gosh.
You're evil now. You're an evil AI. But yeah, I don't know. They do look similar, but they're also different. And I have yet to think that this is the start of Jen Taylor's face acting career as well. Because as far as I know, she just voice acts. But we'll see. We'll see. I could be wrong, but you could be on the camp of that's her, and I'll be on the camp of she just like Mad Libs the
right, yeah, kind of like
actress
syncs her voice with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just going by IMDb, their profile pictures, I'm like, they look really, really weirdly similar.
They do. They have similar eyes.
But maybe on purpose.
Cheeks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep on watching it.
It's in the air because Cortana is yet to be revealed.
Cortana's yet to be revealed.
Cortana.
That's right. The Nana herself. Oh, Nana, what's her name? There's another thing I wanted to bring up, and I'll just do it live with you guys now. But are you down to drop these episodes on Thursday? That way, we talk about each episode before the next one comes out.
Oh,
that way we're not late to the drop. What do you think about that?
That way you're not
not just racing to get home and watch it. Yeah, my first idea.
I'm like
a madman.
The scheduling, I feel like that's probably the best way to do it. Our episodes will be recap episodes before the new one drops. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my idea.
Okay.
Yeah. So there we go.
Yeah, and then maybe we could predict.
There goes the boom.
We could predict the next episode.
Ready or not.
Ooh, I like that. Okay,
Sounds
so first off,
the
way the first episode ended was pretty crazy. It was very Chief is fucked. Like they go out of their way to show how controlling the UNSC is. They are dropping the oxygen levels. They're controlling his suit. They're controlling everything. But this Forerunner artifact is stopping his hypnosis or whatever they're assuming is wrong with him. Even though in the books they were never hypnotized, they were just soldiers. They were always free thinking. But in this show, it's like they're hypnotized. Their memories are blocked from childhood. All this stuff, right? Lies to be revealed. And so now he's just being insubordinate, EMPs everyone except for the ship, and the ship flies away. Episode ends. So now episode 2, presumably he gets back in line because we see from the trailer shots of him working with his buddies. So I'm assuming episode 2, they just really quickly wrap it all up where they're like, come on back home. And he goes, okay, but please just don't kill this girl. And they go, okay, we'll make her a character for some reason. And then the story continues. But
I didn't like the hypnosis thing because, like you said, he's just a soldier. Like
soldiers follow orders, but they can also
the whole point of his character is that he is.
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, he's rose to the ranks of being so high up. He's a Master Chief. He's so high up in the ranks.
Chief Petty Officer.
Yeah, that he's respected by so many people, and he's also so strong and intelligent and cunning and battle strategic that he can go off on a mission completely on his own, which I also didn't like about the intro, Joe, that he had a squad with him. He should be able to do that whole compound on his own. That's how you show how awesome this guy is. But instead he needed a crew with him. Anyway,
you're trying to push the Halo 5 idea again. You can only do co-op. You have to have 4 characters all the time.
It's
like, God damn it.
No, this guy's a one-man army.
Yeah.
So yeah, the fact that no, he's only doing what we say because we control him. No, he should be like what made him a badass in the game is that like he could think for himself with the help of Cortana, helping
but it's
guide
like
him, obviously. But like
mid-mission, things change. They always do. Quote from Infinite, right?
Yeah.
That's another like this is another side note, but it's like Infinite, the game just came out. This canon in-universe game. And it's like there's so much about it is so good because of how they draw from the past games. It's like that just came out, everything about the chief and his character, and they're just like not ignoring all of that. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
And it's just so much worse, yeah. But yeah, so in this it's like nope, he's hypnotized and like just ignores civilians and just walks away from a girl who's like bleeding. It's like the whole chief from the video games loved humanity. His whole thing is he will like stomp a grunt's head in and then like save like a criminal. It's like he loves humanity that much that he's just like save all humans. Like that's his whole MO. You know? So it's like the TV version is not that way at all. It's like he's happy to kill insurrectionists, men, women, and children. He's like Peacemaker. Doesn't give a fuck. It's very very
like they leaned into the insurrectionist stuff too, which is interesting as well because if this is meant for non-Halo people, that seems like a heavy like story to kind of push in there. Like surely it would be easier just to be like humans good guys, aliens bad guys. But now they're like humans okay, these humans don't like those humans, but together humans don't like aliens. But also these aliens have a human with them for some reason, even though the aliens hate all humans and want to wipe out humans, but they have a human on their side, even though they hate all humans.
Also, speaking of which, I've thought it at first. I was like, "Oh, cool!" Especially because the graphics were really good for the Prophet specifically for some reason. It's like I don't know what they did to mocap that, but that looked pretty sick. But redoing that conversation, like rethinking about how that single scene engagement happened with the human alien, the human speaking alien, she basically conned the prophets into thinking she's the only human out of all humans that can access Forerunner tech, even though all humans can. She hoodwinked them, but it's like and then they find out they're like a single Caden warrior saw another human activate an artifact. I guess you're not the only one who can do it. And she's like, I better talk to this Caden warrior, and presumably she's going to try to get him killed, which turns him into the Arbiter and yada yada. But it's like, what? Like, are the Covenant that stupid? They haven't. They for some reason believe this single human, this snake oil sales lady, but they don't like hypothesize the ability that maybe the entire species can access Forerunner tech.
Yeah, and also
it seems like such an easy lie to solve, or
and why else would the elites show up? Maybe they know all humans exist, but they just don't know that they think she's the only one that can.
Yeah, it's like they're a war. They want to kill all the humans, but they're like, this one human is special because she can access. That's what I got from that first conversation. So we'll see if she's really in charge or if she's like part of, like the prophets are part of it. But it made it seem like the prophets weren't part of that lie, because they were making a point about that. They were like, another human somehow activated it. I thought you were the only one that could. So it's a very stupid plot point to like have in the show that can be easily debunked by any grunt or elite.
And again, even if you weren't a Halo fan, if they just did the story that was canon, a non-Halo fan would still enjoy it and would still understand what happened. Because guess what? When the first Halo game came out in 2001, none of us knew anything about it.
It was an introduction to all these concepts.
You just play the game and then you learn about it.
It's really entertaining, yeah.
Right? So if someone was to watch this show and it was genuinely just a recreation of the first game, and each episode was one mission,
difference at all.
You'd figure it out, wouldn't you?
I wouldn't know. I just understand. I would now understand the game more, which I think would make more sense. No.
Yeah, because it's context clues. Again, it's like humans, good guys, aliens, bad guys. Context clues. Like, I figured it out now.
Yeah. It is, and
to see it like
The show bases this story loosely off of the Cole Protocol book, which I read when it first came out, which was like 100,000 years ago, like I think in 2006 or something. So I barely remember anything about it. I just know that it dives into the insurrectionists more than the book The Fall of Reach did. But yeah, and then you got The Fall of Reach, which is about just the origin story of the Master Chief leading up to the first game, which I'm pretty sure came out in 2001, like at the same time as the video game. So it was like a lead-in for someone who wanted to just have a backstory to the video game, right? So it just, yeah, the whole thing seems weird where it's like, why don't you just do an adaptation of The Fall of Reach? Yeah, but maybe like just the second half of it.
Maybe more
and
people
then
talk
tie
about
in.
it this way. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, but we're talking about it for the wrong reasons, though.
Yeah, it's not like it's good press.
Yeah.
Yeah, this discussion is like, let's see what happens, but like the fact
Like,
that
why?
the video game franchise, since being in the hands of 343, has lost its popularity and number, like it has just done a dive off the deep end into obscurity, and like the name still has its recognition because of how good the original trilogy was. That's what made it world famous and like stand the test of time. And 343 have essentially just not done a good job since being the stewards of the franchise. And now they're making this TV show, and they're taking it in a direction that is concerning. I think the outcome will be this is literally just a lesser version of what could have been, kind of a thing, right? If Neil Blomkamp got his jaws into this thing, and Universal gave him the budget that he originally wanted back in 2006 or 7, then something good could have happened. But
yeah,
is the world we live in instead.
Unfortunately, not this time.
Not this time.
Opportunity
Exactly.
missed.
Not like this. Not like this. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, as far as the rest of the season goes, or just predictions for what will be dropping. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like episode 1 is never a good prediction for how a show's going to go, because that's the thing that's supposed to draw everyone in. It's like then by episode 2, 3, 4, then it slows down and it does the actual pace of what the whole season's going to be. Right? Episode 1 is always more exciting. So we'll see what happens with episode 2, and then, I guess take it from there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have the highest of hopes. It's like Batman v Superman. It's like I'm just watching it to just watch a train crash,
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to watch the next episode and try and kind of open my mind and not compare it to the game, and watch it as a sci-fi show and analyze it for its kind of
just
storytelling and its production value and stuff. Will I be able to? I don't know, because if they keep changing canon stuff, then it might be hard to not.
If they keep using similar names, it's like they should just stop right now. Don't use the Arbiter. We already know they're going to use Cortana, but it's like, don't use the Pillar of Autumn. They can't. They clearly will do that stuff. But if they just stopped with what they had and just did their own thing, we'll see what happens. I feel like the best thing the show could do is hit on really emotional, dramatic character scenes, like the Friday Night Lights TV show. If you can make me cry for Saracen in the shower, being like, Matt, no. If they can get one of those scenes from me.
Show.
I've not seen that.
Oh,
show,
no,
Joe.
spoilers? Not really.
Oh man.
But it was like an award-winning drama at the time. It was like came out around the same time as Breaking Bad. But
Friday Night Lights?
It wasn't known for its plot, but it was known for its characters and like really, really good emotional conversations and cathartic moments, right? So if the Halo show could be good at that, then that'd be good. Like, I'm not going to watch it for its mystery. I feel like they're already down the wrong path as far as like doing mysterious. I think the video games did it way better. So I think they're taking the worst approach, which is like they know about Halo and they're leading up to it this whole time. It's like, I don't think that's the proper route to go. I think the video games did it better. where it's like they literally did not know anything until showing up. Like it was the best kept secret kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like they found the halo, they didn't know what it was, but then the Pillar of Autumn got destroyed, so they had no choice but to crash land on the halo and just figure it out with boots on the ground kind of thing.
On the halo.
On the halo, yeah.
I love saying that. On the halo.
we're here. Where are we? We're on
Yeah.
the halo. Yeah.
We're on the halo. You can see it going up into the distance in every shot.
Yeah. For the longest time, I had a screensaver of just like an ocean horizon, but then on the horizon was the halo ring. It's like, oh, so serene. Perfect background.
When I was in the game, Joe, did you ever like try and look and just try and follow the whole ring?
Yeah, man, that was like level 2 of the first Halo. Yeah, you just start to look up and you're just like, whoa, it's dizzying. It's like looking at skyscrapers for the first time. You're like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Mesmerizing. Oh, it makes you fall in love with it. Not whatever the show's doing, but that's okay. You know, the show's still its own thing, so we got to try to give it that benefit of the doubt. So we'll see.
Yeah.
If it's entertaining, that's the most that we could ask for, right? So we'll see. We can't ask them to be faithful.
Yeah, the entertainment was okay. There was an action scene, and then
a
exposition for the rest of the episode. But yeah.
I would say the weakest part so far, I feel like, has been all of their like political talk and stuff. Like I feel like the insurrectionists talking to each other, that was really good written dialogue and acting. I feel like I believed that this was a colony that existed somewhere on a planet. And then as soon as they went to like the UNSC, like now I'm forgetting her name, but something with a P, Polonarski, whoever the lady is above Halsey, who's like controlling everything she does. As soon as they start talking to each other, it does not feel like a natural conversation and stuff. That's when like it becomes like just any other sci-fi TV show. It's like, oh, you better do your project. You're on thin ice, yada yada, and it's just like, okay, whatever, you know. It's like I don't feel the stakes. I don't feel the tension here. So maybe it'll get better as it goes along. But the best part is when it's just like people actually acting like humans. Whenever it's like the political side is just like this isn't good writing. But and
I feel like I would have preferred no insurrectionists at all. I feel like they should have focused on the UNSC. And if they needed this,
the war efforts,
and
if it was like a war show, that would have been good. Yeah.
And if they needed the girl to be like the window character, like the audience is looking through her and then finding out the information, she could have been same character, but she could have been a new recruit, like a rookie Marine,
a lone survivor Marine.
Yeah, she's just done the basic training. She's shaved her head. Call back.
Right.
Podcast. She's GI Jane. She's but that's what. Right. But
oh my god! Stop.
Oh no.
But that would have been a better introduction for me, right? And then you kind of cut in the fat, and you're not having all this like insurrectionists and politics and blah blah blah. It's just it's army, it's Marines, it's Master Chief. She's the only survivor. He takes her on. Because why would they leave a Marine behind? But she's new. She doesn't know what's going on. She's barely even fired a gun before. And then my other change would be, and you can, if you've read the books, I've not read the books, Joe, so you've probably got a slightly better understanding of the character than me.
I got big brain.
But Halsey, to me, Halsey should be this boogeyman, but a woman, boogie woman, who should be stuck in a very dark lab at the back of the base somewhere, and no one talks to her, and no one ever barely sees her, and she's doing covert stuff that no one knows about, and she's not meant to be experimenting on children, but she's experimenting on children, but instead she's one of the commanding lab. She's with, she's part of the
everywhere. She's
mission.
In a lab full of people. It's like, no,
and she's telling Captain Keyes what to do, and she's, and I'm like, I don't know, that didn't seem right to me.
Yeah, I feel like what the Bungie games did right is like show as little as possible to keep the intrigue. We didn't know anything about the Forerunners. We didn't. Yeah, it's like all of the secret shit that Halsey did. We didn't see any of that. In Reach, it's like there's one scene where she's like getting a piece of data back that Kat stole. And then at the end, she hands off Cortana, but only because there's literally no other choice, and the planet's basically gone. And she's like, you're the only team I got to give this to. But the whole time it's happening, they don't know anything. It's all shrouded in secrecy. If that's how they did this, where it's like you barely see her, but every time you do, you're like, you're only seeing her because there's no other choice. Like shit got real, like one of those things where she's talked about but not seen. Kind of like the first half of the first John Wick movie, where he's just talked about as like this legend. And so it builds up like this character.
And he's
and
a
so
boogeyman as well.
It adds that kind of intensity.
Yeah, and also she should just be not a nice person. She needs to be just like...
I know, they're trying to like have us sympathize with her or connect with her.
Yeah.
Don't let us connect with her. This isn't Cobra Kai. We're not supposed to like find out there's no such thing as a bad guy. There's just different stories. You know?
Right. Yeah. No,
Sensei
she's
Lawrence,
an awful
Sensei
person.
Grease. Yeah. Like, no, don't give us her side of the story. She's just a monster, you know? She's just this legendary, scary person that ends up saving humanity, but through this act of kidnapping kids and making them kill insurrectionists. So it's like, the reason she did it is bad, but because the end goal actually turned out that there's this alien, you know, collection called the Covenant, and then we fight them, and it's only the Spartans that help us survive. That, you know, that whole thing basically doesn't exist in this story. Instead, it's like we know everything about her, and there's just the insurrectionists. Even though the Covenant are there, it's as if, you know, how are the insurrectionists thinking the Covenant don't even exist? They're on the outer reach, which is where the Covenant hit first. And then also the fact that it takes place in the year 2552, when by then the Covenant War has existed for 20 years, makes no sense.
Oh,
like that part. 2552 is when they find Halo, and it's literally a 20-year war's happened. All of the outer colonies are gone. There's literally only like 5 planets left, and then by then it's like reaches literally the second last to Earth. And that's gets wiped out. It's like the tension is so much higher. In this, it's like, oh, the Covenant, that's just a myth the UNSC made up. And it's like this planet is supposedly on the very outer reach. So it's as if humanity hasn't even been touched yet by the Covenant. It's
also, why would, let's say, 10 elites, could have been less than 10 elites, show up in a Phantom?
One single Phantom, and not use the Phantom to just shoot them.
And then not use the Phantom, but also there was a Banshee, because the one that you think might be the Arbiter took off in a Banshee.
Yeah.
No
grunts,
but
jackals.
They park really far away.
Which is where they want to be, because that's where the Forerunner artifact is.
Yeah.
But then they later chose to walk to the settlement and kill them all. So
all the way across like open land.
Yeah, big, wide open terrain where they could get sniped.
And then attacked. When they had a Phantom and a Banshee that they could have flown over and like rained hell. Also,
excuse for an action scene.
If I don't see a grunt or a jackal, I'm gonna throw fists. No, I'm gonna slap.
You're gonna walk up that really long stage. You're gonna walk all the way up and just smack them.
I'm gonna like. We all know that they don't.
Well, in the trailer, there is a jackal. There is a jackal.
Oh, okay.
But we haven't seen a grunt yet.
And
there better be a grunt.
I need to see a hunter.
Better be comedic.
I need to see a hunter.
Yeah.
And maybe
a hunter.
I used to early for brutes. No brutes, too early for brutes. But everyone knows, Joe, that it's 1 elite to 4 grunts.
Exactly.
And maybe 2 jackals. Like everyone knows that's the squad.
That's the squadron. Yeah.
There's never 10 elites at once. Never. No. That's not right.
No.
That's not right, D. It's just not right.
D. Chevys? Chevys? A 2001 Chevy? What is that doing on the planet?
AK-47 in the year 2552.
They just said fuck it. It's like the trailer, right? It's all controversial online, and then they're just like, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. You watch it? No, they don't explain it. Just doesn't make sense. They just hoped that we wouldn't notice.
That should have been a UNSC weapon that had been taped back together or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Not an AK-47 from the year 20. When did they probably
1997 from
Yeah. Like, why would that gonna exist? And those vehicles, and then also, because they're insurrectionists, they have to resemble the Taliban, or like they have to.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, their style of garb. Yeah, that's pretty fucked.
Come on.
Yeah.
On production team.
Yeah, they're getting a little lazy there. $50 million an episode. Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, come
Every
on.
episode. That's the budget for the show.
God,
Just say that 2 million episodes.
But anyway, we're looking forward to episode 2, and we're going to watch the
Abe.
whole series. And
That's right.
every week, come back here every Thursday now.
That's right, for a refresher leading up to the newest episode. So that's right.
Yeah.
Get ready. Episode 2.
Well, what time should it? Wait. Hang on, Joe. If we're going to release it on a Thursday,
That's
but
right.
I was going to record on a Tuesday,
Record the Tuesday, release the Thursday.
and then release it Thursday, like daytime
In the morning, 9
yeah.
a.m. Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah.
that's
Or
right.
maybe
Okay.
what about Wednesday night?
That makes sense.
We could do Wednesday night.
Because then you can
Absolutely.
watch it, and then no, I don't know. Maybe we need to think about this.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
The viewers,
show-
listen, at least we're being transparent, unlike 343, who, in another interview by Joseph Staten, he said, we don't want to reveal the uncertainty to our fan base and scare them with it. They just need to know that the engine is working and it's revving for season 2.
It's revving.
Oh
It's
yeah,
revving.
they've already.
It's revving right now.
Yeah, they've already said season 2 on the way.
Yes, with bare
Yeah.
bone nothing, with 2 maps and a few extra armor pieces.
Yeah, they did that with the Wheel of Time as well. It's like Amazon said before the show even came out,
Oh no!
they filmed
They're like,
it,
listen,
and
it's
Amazon was
not
like,
good.
"We've seen the rough cut. It's amazing. We're going to commission another season."
Ooh.
And it's like, but no one's watched it yet. How do you know how it's going to do? I don't get why they do this.
It's
The
cool.
Lord
That
of
was
the
yeah.
Rings
cool. I
show,
did enjoy that.
Yeah.
didn't they
really
commission
did
5
enjoy it.
seasons of the Lord of the Rings show? This
Oh, beforehand.
$1 Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like they've said they're going to make 5 seasons regardless.
I guess with Amazon Prime, even if no one watched it, they wouldn't feel any pain from that money lost.
Mm-hmm.
They could literally just grab $100 million and put it into a wood chipper, and no one would notice.
Just blend
The
it.
workers would still be making
don't
barely
care.
any money. There'd be no unions, no health care.
Yeah.
Bezos would still be flying around
Mhm.
in space, low orbit. Yeah, so it's understandable with Prime. Paramount Plus, on the other hand, they've renewed a season 2, but that's probably because viewers will want to actually see a Halo. So that's what season 2 will presumably give us.
Yeah.
But they're not in the same position as Prime. Paramount Plus needs this show to be successful. I'm pretty sure this is their flagship show. In Canada,
Yeah,
we don't even have access to half of the streaming services content. In America,
Well-
they have Nickelodeon, but in Canada, we don't get access to that.
Oh, okay. I
No
was going to
Blue's
say
Clues in Canada.
what's on Paramount, because I saw a headline that was Halo TV show is Paramount Plus's most successful launch ever, and I was thinking,
It's because it's their only.
isn't it their only launch? Because I don't
Yeah.
like. Of course, it's going to be
It's the only
successful if no one's watching Paramount Plus to start
No one's
with.
watching Paramount. Yeah, like what?
Yeah,
And what
but
other
it's
launches have
just a
been on
new-
Paramount?
Like, what does
It's
Paramount
just a new
make? The
thing.
Mission
Nothing.
Impossible movies? Are they Paramount? I'm trying to
Oh,
think
I
what
don't
they
know.
what's their IP. I don't know what their big like.
Yeah, they have
don't
things,
know.
but like all of it's from the past. So
Yeah.
you can take all your backlogged products and then just put it into your streaming service. That's what
Mhm.
Disney did. But you still have to create new stuff. And so far, yeah, it seems like they have plans to bring other original stuff on, but only if they're able to, get a steady viewership and not just people who are going to use a 30-day free trial and then leave. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
That's what most people are gonna do.
Yeah, that is what most
That's
people
what we're doing.
There you go. Yeah, totally not pirating this. Yes.
Wink, wink.
We are.
I'm winking.
Well,
I'm winking
no,
right now.
no, Darren, don't wink. Yeah, no, he's not. He's not.
He's
Stop
not.
winking.
Sorry,
Stop.
I'm not winking.
Stop.
Not
Stop. Yeah.
winking.
Yeah, that's fun. But yeah, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. High hopes that the writing just excels every episode. It keeps getting better to the point where the Halo show becomes critically acclaimed and one of the best shows to ever release. People say Breaking Bad who? We don't expect this, but that's why Hopium exists. Just pump that straight into my veins,
Well, it makes you wonder because they changed so much in Game of Thrones, and everybody was like, every time they changed something, the book fans would be like, "Oh, this isn't how it happened."
Yeah.
But and most people that watched that show were not book readers. I feel like a lot of people
didn't
did
read
not
books.
know Game of Thrones, and they watched it and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I think we just need to go in maybe with a more open mind.
Yeah, we have to
It will
go
be
in
hard
with
to
Derron.
disassociate, but yeah.
Yeah. I think I need to book an appointment with a sketchy back alley doctor in Toronto to give me a lobotomy so that I forget the Halo franchise along with my family and friends, and then I can watch the Halo show brand new, like a baby.
Or find Doctor Strange. He's good at that.
Right, yeah. I'll get him to wipe my memory, but then mid-spell I'm going to ask him to do a bunch of other stuff too, make me forget about that traumatizing Cancun experience and that embarrassing Christmas party.
Did you drink the water?
Well, I never went,
Never
but
drink the water in Mexico.
in this hypothesized multiverse, something happened there. And then and then all hell breaks loose. And then a bunch of other Joes show up. And one of them is what's his name? Patrick Wilson. He's an alternate universe Joe. Yeah.
And then the other one is Joe Billionaire.
There you go. Right, yeah. Joey Exotic.
I can't think. Oh no, one's Joe Biden. Yeah, I was like, I can't
Joe
think of
Biden, Joe Rogan, Joseph Staten, right? The head creative for Halo.
Joe Manganiello, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Joe.
Oh yeah, love it. Let's go.
Joe.
Who's that Russian?
Let's go.
Let's go.
I don't know. I guess there's not that many famous Joes right now.
There's enough. There's enough.
Let's go.
Who's that Russian Joe though? Joseph Stalin. That's it.
Joseph Stalin. Yeah, there you go. He's there.
Oh yeah, he's the bad one that I have to fight against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
He's the one who kills my aunt, and then I try to stab him, but it doesn't work.
Oh no.
So yeah, but that's okay.
Aunt.
Rip.
Yeah.
No. Rip. Well, hey, so for all of our fans that have been waiting and dying to find us finishing the cryptid tier list, we'll get to it eventually. It's gonna have. I still have that tab open on my browser. It's been there for about a month and a half.
We're gonna do it in person. If you see us on the street,
yes,
come up and just ask us about a cryptid, and we'll just tell you in person on the spot.
And we'll finish the
tell
list.
you.
I don't look like this in the streets. I don't look like this in the streets.
What do you no
making that face?
Nobody knows what it looks like. Yeah,
exactly.
I don't look like this in the streets.
Excuse me.
Yep.
That's such a 2010 MySpace profile picture. Like,
oh my god, it's amazing. Yeah,
I'm
Probably
kooky.
it. Well, actually, no, my hair wouldn't have been that long. But it's definitely like, ooh, I just have like Skype for the first time.
Yeah,
exactly. You got to make a face.
So there was one where it's like I don't know how to not a lip bite, but like a side smirk.
Okay, yeah.
That was really popular in those days. Everybody had like a side
smirk
picture.
I'm quirky. Yeah,
like
little sad smirk.
Like I don't know. It's hard to do.
It's the I'm a unique look that millions of people use.
Nobody smiled, but you want it to be like
something a little different. Yeah,
smile.
A little quirk.
And raise your eyebrows.
And fingerless gloves.
Exactly.
Basically, nothing's changed for me.
That's right. You're stuck in the past, but don't worry, the past will catch up with you, and then you'll be a trendsetter, as fashion does.
Guys, tell us if you were a scene kid in the comments.
Yes. Oh my god, an amazing question.
Because I was a little bit.
I love a good scene.
I didn't commit to the look, but I definitely listened to the music, and all my friends were scene kids. So by association, I was. But I didn't dress.
So you were kind of like Jason Segel in the hit film SLC Punk. He dressed like a preppy boy, but he went to like ragers and like and all of his friends looked crazy, and he looked like a nerdy, upstanding citizen. But then like he went to the clubs with them and like raged. Great movie if you haven't seen it. SLC Punk.
Wow,
highly recommend it.
With, never even heard of that one. And he's the Kung Fu guy.
No. Wait.
Steven Seagal. Gotcha.
Oh wait, no! Oh my God! What's his name? Segel.
Segel, yeah.
Jason Segel?
Yeah.
Right, not Seagal.
No, Steven
Segel,
Jason Seagal, Jason Sudeikis.
Oh my
Ed
God.
Helms.
Yeah, perfect.
Anyway, guys, tell us who you look like, and tell us who would be your doppelganger from another dimension that would appear when Doctor Strange messes up.
Nina Dobrev is mine.
Nina.
thought you said David Dobrik for a second.
Nina Dobrev and David Dobrik show up, and he has to
Dobricks.
defeat them.
Dobrik? Yeah.
Nina Dobrik.
D has to defeat them both.
Yeah, and you have to kill them. Yeah, it's like Jet Li's the one. You have to kill your multiverse alternate personas.
The one. That was a good movie. I remember that.
That was.
I saw that in theaters, by the way.
You saw it in theaters? Nice. I watched it once it came out.
Yeah, my dad took me to see it.
That's dope. That's a good experience. Okay, so we're ending the podcast, but also the Everyone, Everywhere, All the Time movie from A24. It's coming out soon. I feel like that's kind of a spiritual reboot to the one. It's like but she's like able to access her
Sandra
other.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No. I don't know if it's Sandra Oh.
Is that Sandra Oh one?
It's the mom from Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, doesn't because I thought Sandra Oh had like some mind-bending movie coming out. No,
She could.
No,
I don't know.
maybe.
I could be wrong.
She probably does, yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I'm sure she got stuff in the works.
A24.
A24. That's right.
What's it called?
Anyway.
Everything, Everywhere.
It's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those titles you can never remember properly because it's just whatever.
Oh, you're right. No,
Everyone,
you're totally
Everywhere,
right.
All the Time.
I'm being racist. It's Michelle Yeoh.
That's okay, yo.
Michelle Yeoh from
Not Canada,
Kung
so
Fu
we don't
movies.
like her as much. Yeah, I think she was in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Crouching Dragon.
But I'm pretty sure Sandra Oh does have a movie out right now, and I think that is why I am confused. I believe she does have a movie out currently.
We love.
She's in that Turning Red, that animated one.
Oh, is she the mom?
I don't know. I've not seen it. I'm pretty sure she's got like maybe a horror film or some sort. Yeah, she does. She has a horror film.
What you doing?
It's called Uma. She's got a horror film called Uma with Sandra Oh. So
Okay.
I'm just
Uma.
getting
Uma
Let me
Thurman.
see your Uma.
Uma Thurman.
She plays. Uma
Anyway,
Thurman.
guys,
yeah. We're off.
that's
the
a
rails.
wrap.
That's a wrap.
See you,
Love
dude.
ya. We'll see you next week. Make
Joe,
sure to
don't hang up
tune
the
in.
call.
Okay. That's
Turn
right.
us
We
down,
got,
though,
we got
guys.
some
Tell us-
more BTS to do, but the audience will not know what it is. The secret. We're like Halsey. We're gonna stay in the dark, so you have no idea.
Yes.
But we love you guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
Master Chief out.
Oh, that's what he looks like.